Okay, so let me get to the part. It says, why was Malia moving so fast? I was taken back by her forwardness. To be honest, I was very liberated by Malia moving so fast. You know, I don't know. I was just like, yes, sis, take the matter into your hands. You know, like, why are you waiting? Like, sis, you know, and and maybe I'm living vicariously, you know, through Malia, because I haven't had a one night stand, and I'm not. And the crazy part is, I'd be too afraid to have one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm scared about that. And then people with STDs, and then like, he's really a married man or something like that, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's really, really ugly, right? So I would never even want to do that. Plus I'm married, so I don't need to, right? But I love the fact that she was taking control, and maybe it wasn't like the best move, but I don't know why. I just find women doing what they want to do is very sexy, very liberating. You know, do you, sis? Like, don't play by other people's rules. Play by your own rules. Now, if you need to make a man wait 6 months to a year or get married, that's fine too. Like, that's whatever. Like, whatever your standard of life is, do it. But make sure that you're controlling your own narrative. I get tired of people allowing others to control the narrative for you. So what is your narrative? Because I remember, you know, when we were younger, we would be talking about, we're going to wait till we get married, and we're not going to just be out here, you know, sleeping with boyfriends. And people would just like clown us, you know, because the way we were raised, like, that's how we were raised. Like, you just don't do these type of things. And we would get laughed at. You guys are corny. You guys are this and that. And I'm like, no, it's not corny. It's just, that's my standard. And that's what I valued. And so I value Malia taking her own, you know, life into her own hands, making her own decisions, whether they're mistakes or not. You have to live and you have to learn. That's why we can't talk about women having sexual empowerment, because there's some man around who doesn't see it that way. But again, if Chan was out here or Mike was out here backing good-looking women, that's what we wouldn't be saying that. We like, you know what I'm saying? Bro did his thing. You know what I'm saying? He out here. Ain't nobody saying that to one another. Ain't nobody saying that to one another. They do, Corwin. I have 4 brothers, and I have heard these men exchange conversations. I have heard them, you know what I'm saying, tell each other, so you had someone's over last night? Word? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, good for you, bro. Like, proud of each other.
And I was there too. I was right there next to Corenna, and we would listen to Cohen.
Okay, so at least
well, you got 2 older brothers, cuz.
Shut up. Especially you and Tyrone. You and Tyrone and
very much
your
so.
other little cousin,
very much
Chewy.
So.
Yeah, we used to listen to y'all talk about people. That's why me and Corenna were the way we were, because we used to hear our brothers talk about broads the way you guys did. All right, bye.
Y'all talked about girls so bad. You know?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Bad.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
And all of them. Like, I have 4 brothers. I have literally heard it all, and it gets very salacious. You have 3, Kyrie. You have 4 brothers. I have 4. You hear it all. You know what I'm saying? Having brothers, you literally hear it all. So I was like, I'm not gonna be that girl. Y'all out here talking about me. They be talking about my panty drawers, because these panties, you know.
Excuse me. I'm going to pull Trump and say that what you all were privy to was locker room banter that probably wasn't even true. Most of the time,
what you're hearing right now is locker room banter from the ladies. Well, not from Alicia, because she's like, no. But for me and Kyrie, we're like, you know, Malia was doing her thizzle, you know. Can't be mad at the girl for it.
But let me be honest with you about her thizzle.
I'm not mad at Malia. I think Malia needs to grow. Malia has been trapped in a little fishbowl. It is time for sis to get out and figure out what life looks like for her, and not what it looks like for her mama, her daddy, her grandparents. Not what it looks like for her city, not what it looks like for, you know, being there for the culture. Do what you got to do for you. And at times, it may be right and it may be wrong. You got to figure out what it looks like for you. Learn your lesson. Make your move. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Apparently, none of you have watched the show Paternity Court. Now, what ends up happening is these women who are so liberated and just sowing their wild oats, you usually get dragged on the show by some brother who's saying, it's not my kid. And she comes on to say,
what does liberation and sexual responsibility have anything to do with anything? You could be sexually liberated and use
sex, because sex produces children. Now, I'm gonna be honest.
Sex produces children when you don't use contraception all the time.
I went out with a young lady who told me that she got pregnant on birth control.
Can I give you a little secret, Corwin? Can I give you a little secret? Some of these people are trying to get pregnant on purpose, and these men are raw dogging people, and they're stupid. Oh, she gonna be over for
babies. They do it for the feeling.
Now you have a good one.
Anybody doing it for I want a baby. No, we doing it for the feeling, Jack.
Support. Now you're gonna have a real good time. Okay. So, contraception, condoms, IUD. Figure it out, folks.
Let me say something, Corenna.
STD testing, right? And you do.
And here is something that I want everybody to take heed to, because Corenna and I have had this conversation before, and I've had this conversation, and it actually has ended friendships, which is okay. It has to do with responsibility for children. Now, this, of course, totally going off the rails, but it had to do with contraception, and it had to do with a woman's right to choose, and I think most people feel that the woman has a right to choose, which is her business, right? Which I do not disagree with. What I disagree with is that if the man decides that after the woman has chosen to have the child, the man says, well, hey, this isn't really my bag, and I don't want to really be a part. Then the women will come back and say, well, you should have wore a condom, you should have used protection, or you shouldn't have had sex. And Corenna has
sounds like you need to write to the legislator and try to pass a new bill where men terminate their rights.
Getting my start up, please?
I know what you're going to say. It's craziness.
I know. Okay, well, that's fine. Here's the thing, but it's okay. So again, and I get what, and Corenna makes a very valid point. If men do not want to have children, then we shouldn't either have sex, or we shouldn't use.
That's not the point that I was making, but okay.
But wait, I know, but that's the point that I'm making. But if a woman also does not want to have children, and she lives in a state that doesn't offer reproductive health care, then she should do what women are told, what women tell men to do: don't have sex. But no, it's like, no, it's my body. I'll get bent over the bed as much as I want.
You want to bring Roe versus Wade into this. This is not what this is about. Okay? Everything is about, I said, this is not about Roe versus Wade. Everything's about responsibility. So as grown-ups, when we
men are the only ones who are
sometimes mute him. As I'm going to say this, as grown-ups, we all know that there's a choice. Okay? And we all know there's a risk as well. There's a risk, right? There's a risk for the woman, there's a risk for the man.
Women, then.
Whatever happens, happens. We all know, or women know and men know. So let's move on to the next question.
Yeah, it's more the next question because y'all don't want to get me on that one.
Because it's some bull and you know it.
Burned by Salt Bay, baby.
The next question says, from Amber from Olympia, Washington says, has Malia ever shared any of these thoughts about Mike with her friends about these feelings that she has for him? I'm going to say that.
Hold on. Let me start on that one, sis. No, she hasn't shared the thoughts because she already knows that if she does, they're going to just say, well, why he treated you so poorly, so badly. And I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why a lot of times people do not share how they feel about somebody because they don't want people to either talk them out of how they feel or point out the truth to them. Malia could spend her time telling her friends about, I still love this guy, I love this man, and if he ever came back and he was right, then of course here goes her bitter friends who don't have any men to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. He's a horrible person. All you're going to do is just ruin your life all over again.
Now this is where you lose respect. This is where you lose respect because you want to call somebody's friends bitter for calling out the obvious, right? See, this is where I lose respect for you as a human being. Because if Mike ran back to his homeboy saying, Malia cheated on me, but now she's back, she wants to be back together. Guys, what should I do? His friends wouldn't be good. No. You would not call his friends bitter. You would sit up there and say, bro, this woman broke your heart. She married another man. She cheated on you for years. She made you look like an idiot to everybody. Leave her alone. You wouldn't call them men bitter men, bitter bros. You would be like, that's a good homeboy. He is out here pointing out the fact, leave her alone. She's going to do it again. I'm sick and tired of toxic men. I'm tired of toxic men always sitting up there talking about something. Your friends are bitter. Your friends aren't bitter. Your friends are pointing out the obvious. And you're about to get shot again by this dude. It's about to be round 2.
I love you guys. You guys are hilarious. But Corenna, facts, okay? Facts. And it goes both ways. Everything that you're saying, Corwin, about men, it's the same way for women. it goes both ways, you know, and Corenna hit the nail on the head. It's about being responsible, you know, and
what does that mean?
She's not saying go out here and just be loosey-goosey and share it with everybody. And, you know, like, that's not what Malia is doing. And Malia had a freaking thought. She's not, you know, I mean, they're in the car already, away from everybody. I mean, if she was really like that, they could be getting down in the car, right? You know what I'm saying?
You said that it was a possibility it could have went down the car. Don't you remember? She was.
What is wrong with the person? Just do what they want to do. The wrong woman. What's wrong with that? I mean, you act like people haven't been made in vehicles before. Like,
so basically, he could have thrown her in the trunk, apparently, and that would have been it. Corenna, just stop.
Well, I mean, if it went down, it went down.
Justifying bad
Let's be
behavior.
honest here. How many women get killed in domestic violence disputes with men who they were with for years? I mean, you could get easily killed. You can get as easily as killed.
Some love on camera. There you go.
You get out of people's scream. You get out of people's scream.
Black love on camera, bro. Get it, bro. Get it, bro. Get it, bro. Do what you, man. Do your thing, black man. Do your thing, black man.
Kissing my wife,
do your thing,
don't be kissing on her like that. That's my lips.
Do your thing, black man. Yeah. That's how you love your black women.
Yeah. My heart is broken. How dare you kiss another man in front of me? Like,
I am saying, salute to that black king for loving his black queen. There you go. And isn't embarrassed to let the world know. That's how black men are.
I do think that Malia has shared. I don't know about lately if she shared any of her, you know. Well, I mean, Mike came back. She didn't know Mike was back. So any feelings that, you know, she's having tonight, this night, at the Friday night thing, when she sees him for the first time in all this time, of course, she hasn't even had time to share those feelings, you know, with her friends. But I do feel like she, of course, shared with maybe Eva or anybody else that's super, super close to her about the impact, you know, and how hurt she was. And they were there to support her through that time when he decided to break up with her a couple of weeks before he married somebody else. You know, they had to carry her through that, you know, help her through that. So that's what friends are for, you know, her best friends, you know. So she may have not shared everything because she's not quite that open yet, but, you know, she has shared a few things, in my opinion. So Alicia, did you have anything on that question?
Yeah, my cat hopped up here. He wanted to give me some affection. But I know see if I can pull it down on him. There he is. Hopped up on my lap. Anywho, to answer the question, I don't know if she's been, like Kyrie say, I don't know if she said everything. I don't think she's told them all of her feelings about Mike simply because of judgment. She may be worried about what they will say or think. And, you know, one thing Corenna always says is that me and Kyrie's opinions of her or how we see her is very important to her. So even if, you know, her friends wouldn't judge her, she don't know for sure. You know, they may not tell her 100% how they feel because they worried about feelings. So I don't think she said everything. I don't think she shared all of her thoughts. And I don't think she has to, really. When this stuff popped off in the club, you know, they were able to look at her, and while she was in her head playing everything, they could see her reaction to him after not seeing him for so long. And they're like, oh gosh, okay, is she okay? What's going on with her? So she may not even have to share those thoughts. They may already know. Corenna may know just by, you know, somebody could say something that could trigger me, and it could be written all over my face what I think. And I wouldn't even have to say, you know, we might talk about it a month or so later. She'd be like, yeah, I saw that bothered you. I didn't say anything, but I could tell, you know, something that got to you, you know, whatever the situation may have been. So Yeah, that's my little 2 cents about that. I don't think she shared 100%, if at all. She probably wouldn't have to, being that her feelings and everything is all over her face. So
I was just thinking about that. Like we're a different type of friends over here, though. Corenna would have got them out of there. Corenna would have shut the place down. Like Antonio, either he leaving or we leaving, because my girl not gonna be sitting up here uncomfortable. If Antonio didn't do nothing, Corenna would have did her best to get him out herself. And if that didn't work, she'd be like, "All right, F this, we out of here, bye." So Corenna would have set it off.
I am no longer going to be agreeable with people who are wrong. I'm going to stand my ground. And that's that. 10 toes down. You don't have to like it. This is what this is. You can figure it out, or you don't have to figure it out. So I don't think that Malia has necessarily shared all of her feelings, with her friends, because sometimes you are embarrassed. Sometimes, and it's like, how do you still have love in your heart for a person who did you dirty? Sometimes man, if I say that, everybody's gonna be like, girl, you wilding, you know what I'm saying? And they're just gonna remind you of what you need to hear. And sometimes you don't want to all necessarily hear that. And sometimes you do need to hear that. When I know I need to be accountable for certain things, I tell the people who are gonna hold me accountable. Period. I tell my girls, I tell my brother, because I know that if I try to remake and go back, you guys are gonna be like, well, Corenna, I definitely understand, and there's grace. It's not like y'all gonna jump on me, pound me into the ground. But what you guys are gonna do is kindly remind me, like, sis, I know that I know you have a good heart. I know you care about people, but wasn't this the last person who said this about you? Didn't she do that? Didn't he? Blah blah blah. So then they're helping me to remember, like, these are the reasons why you had to create those boundaries. And even if you went to counseling, your counselor would do the same thing. If you're like, well, I'm going back to Gerardo, your counselor is like, so let's yeah, I said Gerardo. I don't know where
because like Gerardo.
Oh no, Rico Suave, I guess. But you're like, well, let's dig into that. That's the guy, right? Who cheated on you with your sister. He's the one who stole all of your money out of your bank account. So the therapist will help.
That's not true. A brother named Fred can do the same thing.
Say, you came out of a lot of hurt because of the situation. Do you think that Gerardo has changed? And if so, what has he done? I don't know why I keep saying the name, but if so, what is it about him that you think is going to be different this time? I don't know why either. Well, I don't think, shut up, Corwin. I don't think that anything has actually changed. I just feel like I've grown. Well, just because you've grown don't mean that he's grown, and he's going to do you a part too as well. So I don't necessarily think that she told her friends everything. I don't necessarily think she even fully knew how she felt until she saw Mike. Sometimes when you run into people, it brings up emotions, memories, and things that you didn't even know that you had. So maybe she might share with her friends in the future that, girl, I ran into him that night and it really had me second guessing, myself, or maybe wanting to go back, but I'm not sure. Who knows?
And the only reason why she'll say any of that is so they can talk her out of it.
And that'll be a good thing for them to talk her out of it, because I have a couple more questions that came in. So this is Angie from Tacoma says, about time Malia cussed out Erica. Why does she keep hanging around her? I think we talked a little bit about that earlier. So I think we kind of answered that we felt like their family. And also I think Malia, I think that Malia has had a hard time with creating boundaries. I think that she's one of those people that she kind of has allowed people to try her. And now she's lashing out because she's sick and tired of it. It says, have you ever had someone front you out in public? Yes. I've had people try to front me out in public, and I've had to basically go there and lose myself, and then they wanted to be the victim.
This question is from Naomi from Park City, Utah. She says, Chan and Malia's chemistry was intense. Why did he seem a little shy by her boldness? Does forwardness scare strong men? I don't think it scares them. I think they're not used to it. They're used to women being timid and, soft-spoken and not saying certain things and, oh, okay, and sure, and being really agreeable. And, women have evolved into being free thinkers, speaking up and saying how we feel and asking those hard questions that years ago we weren't allowed to ask. We're not asking for permission anymore. We're calling you out on the BS. Where if it looks ugly, we're trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If it's a red flag, we're talking about all of this, before we get ourselves in a position where we don't want to be. And we will continuously be put in places that we don't want to be if we don't start speaking up and advocating for ourselves, because nobody else is going to do it for us. And unfortunately, the men that say that they love us, they're not always looking out for our best interests. They're not going to be like, well, hey, I think you should know this about me and we should sit down and talk about, no, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're scared. I think they don't like it. They're not used to it. But welcome to the new world, baby.
I agree with Naomi that Chan and Malia's chemistry was pretty intense. I wouldn't say that he was shy by her boldness. He may have been a bit taken back. Like, she may have beat him to the punch. He probably planned on laying it on real thick and then, took a step back, was like, oh, okay, hold on. This is what it is. Okay. All right. So there's nothing I read that seemed that, that made me think shy. And as far as does forwardness scare strong men, I would like to say no.
So the question is, did forwardness scare strong men? It seems that Chan was a little shy by Malia's boldness. I think it goes back to what the ladies were saying, that sometimes people already have it made up in their minds. This is a playbook. This is a strategy. And then when somebody switches up the strategy, it kind of can throw you off your game a little bit. I don't think that shyness is a female trait or a male trait. I think shyness is a trait that humans experience. So you can be a strong man and experience a form of shyness. I do think that Malia's boldness, her forwardness and her boldness, I do think it took him by surprise. I don't think he expected her to be the one kind of like, hey, come upstairs, let's do what we do, right? She was the one really leading that. So I do think that her forwardness was kind of like, oh, okay, well, dang, sis, I kind of thought I was going to have to woo you and do all these things and talk crazy and all that. And you like, cut out all that nonsense and let's get to it. So I do think that he was taken aback by her, but I don't think it was in a negative way. I think it was just surprising. That's all for this episode of Rose City, the After Show. We hope you enjoy our discussion on episode 9. Don't forget to tune in next week when we will be diving into episode 10. If you haven't already read it, what are you waiting for? The first 3 episodes are free on Kindle Vella, so there's no reason. So check out this amazing story, please. And we think you'll be hooked just like we are. New episodes are being published every week. We'd love to hear from our readers. So please add your thoughts, your questions, and your theories to the comments, or reach out to us on Rose City, the After Show on Facebook. All links will be provided in the description. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Bye.